Jalen Green entered his second season in the NBA with expectations of taking a leap, especially after the strong end of his rookie season. But he didn't make the leap that many expected him to. However, despite that, I don't think the opinion on his upside and potential should change as much as it has, which is what I want to talk about in this video. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out in the YouTube algorithm and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the 2024 NBA season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Jalen Green. When you look at Jalen Green's numbers in year 2, they don't look great. His true shooting percentage was in the 26th percentile, his rim field goal percentage was in the 13th percentile, his three-point percentage was in the 37th percentile. These numbers are down compared to his rookie season, where his true shooting percentage was in the 42nd percentile, his rim field goal percentage was in the 33rd percentile, and his three-point percentage was in the 49th percentile. However, while this may look concerning on the surface, when you look deeper, it makes more sense, because he saw an increase in his volume, and it's common to see young players take an efficiency dip when they increase their volume at a young age, especially players that are the archetype that Jalen Green is. His rim attempts went from the 90th percentile to 93rd percentile, his three-point attempts went from the 92nd percentile to the 95th percentile, and on top of that, he did see improvement in some key advanced stats. His OPM went from 54th percentile to 78th percentile. His EPM went from 29th percentile to 52nd percentile. His estimated wins went from the 15th percentile to the 68th percentile. His free throw attempts went from the 88th percentile to the 95th percentile. Now, these numbers are ones that require more context. Offensive box score plus minus, EPM, estimated wins, they are contingent on you as well as the other players that you play in the lineup with. But the Rockets were just as bad as they were the year prior, and the fact that these numbers went up for him is encouraging in my opinion. And on top of that, he showed improvement in his foul drawing ability, which I think is the most encouraging. Now, overall, these numbers aren't great. It's not like he's a top 100 or 90 percentile player in these advanced stats. But you have to remember the team situation he's in. A second-year player on a rebuilding team. And the fact that he did show as much improvement with those specific advanced stats, despite the fact that the Rockets were just as bad as they were the year prior, maybe a little better in terms of wins, but still really bad, I do think that's a sign that it's encouraging. His improvement in terms of offensive plus minus, estimated wins, and free throw attempts does line up with other guards and wings who went on to become stars in the NBA when you compare his numbers in his first 2 seasons to their numbers in their first 2 seasons. Darius Garland, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Devin Booker, and De'Aaron Fox, just to name a few. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be as good or better than any of those players. All of those players are incredible. They're all all-stars. I would say all of them are all-NBA caliber, and even a few of them are MVP caliber. But I'm just using this as an example to show why you shouldn't be so reactionary to a player's first 2 seasons looking at advanced and efficiency numbers. Numbers are great and all. I use them a lot in my videos, including this one clearly. But they can only tell you so much, and it never tells the full story about a player and the evaluation of that player. The tape matters as well. In fact, I would say the tape might matter even more. And on tape, I am very encouraged by what I see with Jalen Green. Jalen Green is one of the best athletes in basketball. He has things you just can't teach. Unreal burst and quickness, blazing speed with and without the basketball in his hands, generational vertical explosion, elite body control and flexibility. His ability to get to the rim is truly special, and add that with his improving foul drawing ability and you see all the tools for a potentially elite rim pressure threat. Now he does need to get stronger. His lack of strength definitely contributes to his lower rim efficiency numbers, but the reason I'm not too worried about those lower rim efficiency numbers is because of his improvement as a foul drawer and the fact that he's not afraid of contact. Plus, he's still really young and working to add functional strength to his frame. I expect his rim efficiency numbers to improve as he gets stronger. As he continues to get stronger and improve on his encouraging foul drawing ability, he will become an even more dangerous rim pressure threat. If he continues to improve in those two areas the way I think he can, he should trend towards being one of the best rim pressure threats in the NBA. Green also has shown improvement as a shot creator in my opinion when I watch the tape. He's always been a natural shot creator. He's always had a good feel in that area in terms of creating space and taking tough shots. But his handle somewhat would hold him back at times. However, he did make up for that with the fact that he's just that elite of an athlete. And I can't stress enough how elite of an athlete you have to be in order to be as effective of a shot creator as Jalen Green is with the handle he has had. But this season, I saw improvement in his handle, which is an area I believe will expand his game if he continues to improve on it. And I have no reason to believe he won't continue to improve his handle because he already has shown promising progression from high school to the G League, where in high school, he really didn't have a good handle at all, despite what the highlights showed. But he improved by the time he got to the G League, and he became a better handler, but still needed work. And from the G League to the NBA, it's definitely gotten better on tape. And when you combine that with shot creating ability and rim pressure ability, you have the baseline for potentially an elite scorer. In terms of his shooting ability, I don't think the numbers reflect his ability as a shooter. His efficiency numbers are a reflection of shot selection more than ability in my opinion. I never get the sense that he's a bad shooter on tape, someone you just leave open. I get more of a sense that he takes bad shots on tape, which is common for a young, high-usage scoring guard. I think as he continues to develop and the team gets better, his shot selection will improve. It's not a guarantee, but I've seen cases of players that are talented like Green in the past, where the shot selection gets better over time. And his numbers, as of right now, I don't think are the worst. Slightly below average from 3 on high volume as a young player isn't as bad as it looks, especially when those numbers reflect more of a shot selection problem than an ability problem. He's not afraid to take shots, which is a double-edged sword because it leads to bad shot selection given his freedom, obviously. But it is easier for a confident player to reel it in within a team context rather than having to build confidence up. If anything, his overconfidence in his shot creation and shooting ability is a good problem to have, and given his talent as a player, it's something that realistically can be a positive long term. Now, in terms of passing ability, I don't think Green will ever be a big time playmaker. It's just not who he is as a player. He's not going to be Luka or Harden, where they run a bunch of pick and rolls, make a bunch of reads. But I do think he has potential to be solid in this area. I don't think he's a selfish player. There's a difference in my opinion between a selfish player and someone that's wired to score. He does have solid tools as a passer. He can make reads. Now, he wasn't good in this area, in my opinion, this past season or his rookie season. I felt like he dealt with tunnel vision. I felt like he maybe made a few bad decisions. But I don't think he's a lost cause. I think that the passing can get to the level where you look at him and say, he's not one-dimensional. And I think given what I believe he can be as a scorer, I think that being more than one-dimensional as a player because you reach the threshold of being at least a solid passer will be enough. Jalen Green is still a player that I think has star upside. I think he could be all-star to borderline all-NBA good. I think he can be a 25-plus point per game scorer and be in discussion for one of the best scorers in the NBA. If you thought he was going to be a star after watching his rookie season, there really isn't anything from his second season that should sway your belief from that, in my opinion. There's this narrative that Jalen Green is selfish and only cares about himself. But the thing is, we don't know that. We aren't around the team every day, and most people saying those things don't have the information to back that up. They're basing it off what he is on the court. And I think having that opinion because of his shot selection, or the fact the Rockets were bad, or the fact that he posts his outfits on Instagram a lot is ridiculous. And even his on-court body language. I know it's not encouraging. I know it doesn't look great, because when you watch him play, he doesn't have the best body language on the court. But he's a young player on a rebuilding team. He hasn't had good coaching in the NBA. He hasn't had a really stable situation since being drafted. You have to remember with young high draft picks that they aren't used to losing like this. They have been winners their entire life playing the sport of basketball up until the point they get drafted into the NBA. For a lot of these guys, they don't play as many high school or college games in a season that they lose in their rookie and sophomore seasons. And that number is usually double in terms of games. They are adjusting to the best league in the world, so the body language not being great isn't uncommon. They aren't used to losing. They aren't used to playing this many games. And even with that, I'm still very encouraged by the potential of Jalen Green. I think he's in for a breakout year 3. He's going to have the best coach of his young NBA career up to this point. He's going to have veterans in the locker room, and say what you want about those new veterans, it's more than what he's had through 2 years in the NBA. It's no guarantee he has that breakout season. Only time will tell, but I believe in the talent. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the 2 best ways you can help me out in the YouTube algorithm and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the 2024 NBA season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know what you think about Jalen Green in the comment section below. How good do you think he's going to be? How good do you think the Rockets are going to be? Let me do all that down below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.